Hey all, welcome to Actifio On-Tech. Today is Friday, November 9th, different day than usual, one day later. But we're coming from our cool new video studio, right?
That's right.
Whoa, and
Here
now we're broadcasting from Boston with the appropriate flags behind us because it's Veterans Day on Monday, so we gotta love that. And we're super excited to try this thing out. Hopefully the audio's working. Hopefully we're streaming it, I think 1080.
Hopefully everything is working.
I don't know. We'll find out, right? We'll get complaints if it's not. But, you know, that said, Jason, Mr. No Name.
Mr. No Name, back on live.
Exactly, back on live.
And in honor of that, I think Jason brought us a very special...
It's fantastic. I want to hear all about it.
Well, it's Treehouse. You know, we're used to Treehouse here at On-Tech. This one's called Lights Out. So the history behind this beer is this is the first beer that Treehouse ever canned. Way back in, I don't know what year it was, but a while ago.
And the last beer they brewed in Munson.
Exactly. So it's kind of a neat beer, Treehouse history-wise. I mean, it's a pale ale, so it's American pale ale, 5.8%. It's not going to blow your socks off or be anything super special, but they don't brew it very often. Instead, they brew their brother to this, or the twin, called Lights On.
That's right.
They brew that one a lot more for some reason. I don't know why, since it's a pale ale.
I think this one's better.
Shouldn't be too bad. And yeah, I agree with Gio. If you compare the two, I think I prefer this one.
Cool.
As well. So I'm going to roll it like I always do, pour it. So, Chris, why don't you kick us off this week?
Sure. So I saw a headline just this morning that Facebook is launching their dating service, and they're launching it in Canada today.
Canada?
That's the trial place.
Ah.
Not sure why it's in Canada, but very interesting.
Why not?
Facebook has a huge amount of data on us.
Yeah, sure.
They're saying that it's going to be opt-in, so you're going to opt in and you're going to pull some of the stuff from your profile, but not all your profile. You're going to set up a separate dating profile, and they claim it's going to be focused on conversations and serious dating rather than casual encounters.
Is that going to be different from the one? What's the famous one? You swipe left, swipe right. That one.
I believe that would be Tinder.
Tinder. So is this competitive for Tinder? You think?
I would say it is. I mean, Tinder is definitely not shying away from the casual encounter side of things, but
no, go for it.
Dating in general, yeah. I mean, anyone in the dating market should be scared of the $2 billion user.
I understand.
Right?
True.
But from a privacy standpoint, do you really want all that?
I know. People really get frustrated with them because of that.
Yeah.
I would also say that I myself am upcoming on a milestone relating to dating, as in marriage. Believe it or not, I'm coming up on my 20 years. 20 years.
I thought you were going to drop a bombshell. Like
20 years! No! My 20-year anniversary coming up. Very excited about that.
Oh, hey, cheers.
Very happily married with a wonderful wife.
You can smell it. Smells.
So you won't be trying out the Facebook stuff?
No, I'm sadly not. And I'm not sadly, because I'm happily married.
It smells so good. It smells very
kind of fruity. It does.
For a 2-month-old beer, the nose is awesome.
That's really good. Very drinkable.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, I do like that.
Really
right?
Very good.
Exactly.
Very fruity. I love the
it's enhanced
fruitiness.
by being outdoors in Gloucester.
Well, it is. It's the flowers, the aroma of the bums in the natural in the garden.
We're the swan boats, right? Swan boats. I think there's one behind me.
We're in a public
Wait,
garden.
which way? There. Oh, that's a person.
We're in the
that was
public
a swan
garden?
boat.
Public garden? Or
Public garden. Public garden.
What's the other one? You got
Esplanade.
public garden and the common.
In the common.
The common and then the garden,
Yes.
right? I think we're in the garden.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, all right. So I had a quick topic this week. So I found some interesting information about Bitcoin.
Okay.
I know you're a big
Our old
Bitcoin guy.
favorite topic.
You're a big Bitcoin guy, but apparently Bitcoin's environmental impact is actually worse to the environment than actual mining. Like
Really?
mining for like gold and silver and stuff. The environmental impact is actually worse because of the amount of electricity and servers and heat that's generated from these computers are just running compute cycles, right?
So actually extracting gold from the earth, you put in $1 of mining and you get $1 gold out. You put $1 of electricity in, what do you get out for Bitcoin?
I don't know.
Well, the interesting thing about that, though, is that I know Bitcoin mining over time has gotten more difficult. So if you jumped on board
That's
like
right.
10 years ago, that dollar may have actually paid you like $2 or $3 in Bitcoin. But now, whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, that's extreme.
Today, I mean,
But today,
hundreds of thousands of dollars.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And in fact, for a while, there was, I don't know if it's still the case, there was a shortage of video cards because they are really optimized for the kind of computing required for like the Bitcoin calculations.
That's right.
And so you couldn't get them because you know, which is crazy. I'd want one just for video games or something.
Yeah, video gamers were kind of mad about that.
I know. I know. That's nuts. But
I think NVIDIA's caught up a little bit.
Yeah, I think so now. But for a while there, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Right. So apparently, over a 1 year time period, the 4 currencies, so Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Monero, were responsible for 15 million tons of CO2 emissions over the time period.
I don't know how much that is, but it sounds like
Sounds
a lot.
like a lot.
It does sound like a lot.
Is that like a Humvee going to work, or is that
It's
basically?
basically, I'll tell you this: the sum total of Bitcoin's electricity consumption slightly trailed the entire country of Denmark.
Oh,
Really?
wow.
Yeah.
That's serious.
So is it, I'm going to say a lot.
Do they have electricity over there?
Yeah.
They do, I believe so. I believe it's a modern country.
Yeah.
It is in Europe.
It is cold though, so they got to heat up a lot of houses.
I can't believe you got a significant
Yeah.
ROI from all that investment, though, in electricity these days.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. Okay.
All right, so
Jay?
I had a story. My story was, and I'm less prepared than usual. I normally come with 5, and so I'm disappointed that I only have 1 today.
Quality
but,
over
you know,
quantity.
Yeah, that's right. So we've talked a lot here about our interest in mobile phones, and I know Jason and I are Android guys. In fact, I think Chris, you are. Oh, Mr. No Name, you are an Android guy too,
I'm an
right?
Android guy. That's
So
right.
we are all Android guys, and so the interesting thing is that Samsung released or talked about in their developer conference this idea of a folding phone. So you have a phone that has a folding.
Like a flip phone.
Yeah,
Oh.
except for
Who would have thought?
I know.
Wow.
Except for an all-screen one. So it's like this, and you open it up, and it's like literally a tablet. So it's kind of like a tablet in your pocket.
Yeah.
Wow.
It seems kind of cool, but then I wonder how thin will it be, like really bulky, like
Right.
you know the old phones where it's so thick. It's gonna be like I don't know, but it's interesting concept. One could imagine it could be the future, but who knows?
Do you know what the screen is made out of so that it can fold like
It's
that?
a flexible OLED, you know, organic LED,
Yeah.
and so you know. One of the things that Samsung does well is they're sort of a leader in LED
Sure.
sort of creation, and so they have this flexible OLED. In fact, one curious thing about I was reading about a while ago, that you may not have known, is that the you know the iPhones have that awesome like with the 10, the screenless display.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the way they do that is the bottom of the display has electronics that you can't have it on the bottom. So they actually have a curve
Yes.
where the electronics are actually underneath curves.
Yes.
So it's actually a flexible OLED there too,
right.
but it's not opening and closing,
Yeah.
moving in the same way.
One-time bend.
Right, one-time bend.
Yeah.
So, but this is, you know, I wonder about it. Like all this time opening and closing, is that going to be okay with a phone over time? Or a tablet, if it will?
Certainly, folding screens have been kind of a dream for a long time.
That's true.
So
It's
the
true.
fact that they're actually showing one off must mean they've made progress.
I think you're right, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm excited about it. I think, you know, I always like these interesting changes, but, you know, I think this might be one of those ones where, and they've sort of implied, like crazy expensive. Just because
Sure.
it's sort of,
Probably.
you know, very few of these things around, so they're going to really charge a premium.
Well, you know, it's tough to charge a real premium in the phone market because you can't really make the equivalent of like a supercar.
Right.
for
There's
a
not much
phone.
differentiation.
Right. So if you want to pay, you know, let's say I want to pay $2,000 for a smartphone.
Right.
There's no $2,000 smartphone out there unless you just put a bunch of gold on it.
Well, it's true.
You
There
know.
are those, but that's true.
Well,
the
Bitcoin.
diamond ones or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah.
But the best, you know, quote, best phone, you know, whether it be the iPhone flagship or the Samsung, it's like $1,000. And I'm
Yeah.
sure there's some billionaires out there that are like using the same phone I am. So
Probably.
I wonder what this will come out as.
It is true. The other interesting thing to note is another phone that came out. You guys remember the OnePlus? OnePlus is sort of this low-cost manufacturer that sells really pretty high-end phones for a fairly reasonable price as compared to Samsung or Apple or whatever. And they came out with a very highly rated phone called the 6T, which is their sort of high-end equivalent of the Samsung, Galaxy S10 or whatever. And the one big thing about that's interesting is it got really good reviews. It's also available on Verizon. So if you're a Verizon guy, you haven't had a lot of options for
No,
these
and
sort
I
of
am
buy
a
your
Verizon
own
guy.
phones. So that's one that you can go and buy. It's not cheap. It's probably like $600, but compared to a lot of these phones, they're like $800, $900, $1,000.
Yeah.
It's actually a pretty good deal. Has a lot of the high-end specs with the Qualcomm CPUs and
Nice.
memory and storage and all
Thanks
that
for the tip,
stuff.
Jay. I'm going to look into that.
Go check it out. OnePlus 6T. In fact, my oldest son, I think, may need a phone at some point, and I'm not sure I'm gonna get that for him though, because I'm afraid he's gonna break it. But
How old
I
is
could
he now?
13.
Oh. I'm surprised you've held out this long.
I know. I know.
Good for
Oh,
you.
he has a phone. It's a
Oh.
flip phone.
He has a flip phone.
So he has a flip phone. But maybe an upgrade could be in the cards for Christmas. We'll see.
Lucky
We'll see.
kid.
Well, I
Yeah.
hope he's not watching. He's got his
Right.
hopes up.
Right.
Well, maybe not. Maybe not. It's all about good behavior.
Jay,
We'll
I could
see.
use a new.
What else
I
is
could
it
use a
about?
new phone for Christmas.
You just got a new phone.
I could always use another one.
Yeah.
Uncle Jay.
Uncle Jay. There you
You
go.
know, we get office gift, right? Office Santa there. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool. So I think that's it this week. We don't
We'll
have
do it,
much else going on. We're a little busy setting up the lab and doing some videos for the all hands this
Right.
week, so we're a little busy doing that. So we didn't come fully loaded with awesome topics, but we did want to bring you into the lab, show you the cool
First run.
green screen that we can do.
Right. So we're
And-
fully loaded with awesome content with our cool stuff.
Right.
You guys want to get nerdy on the flavor of the beers or what?
Definitely overripe guava. in there.
Overripe.
I'd say.
Overripe
Blue
guava.
freeze.
Grapefruit, baby. It's all about grapefruit.
No, actually, this is really good, though. I do think
It is.
that the beer is, like I said, 2 months old, but it's been in the fridge the whole
Oh,
time.
it tastes great.
But it tastes awesome. There's no floaties. It smells great. And
Like
definitely like this better than Lights On, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree.
Lights Out. Killing it.
All right.
See you, everyone. See you next
everyone.
week.
See you next
On
week.
the note of lights out.
Lights Out.